welcome to Shared Beauty. It has been a while, but I am back-ish. Maybe. I'm gonna try to be back, but, I have started my own business. Kind of difficult to do that and keep up with hobbies. Gonna be honest. But, let's not worry about that. Let's just focus on playing and having fun, right? So this is Shared Beauty. It's by the same people who made Parasite in Love, if y'all remember that one. They emailed me, so I'm really grateful because I was not planning on making any videos. But I do want to get back in the swing of things. So I think this is a good place to start. I do love me visual novels. You know how it be. Alright, let's go. Let's get over it and go. Or not. Okay. Soft, hazy sunshine envelops the village you grew up in. Oops. You can make out dewdrops on the grass glittering around you as you sit outside with your little sister August. It's a misty early morning. August blows into her hands, trying to warm them up before she rejoins you in tending to the bucket of laundry. Isgard, my hands hurt. I know, the water is cold, but we can't wait. We can't always boil it. We need to save the wood, understand? She pouts, but mumbles a yes and continues. Your eyes wander until you see another seam about to snap on her clothes. It's only been a few weeks since you and your mother have mended them last. You bite your lip and look away. You wish you could provide more for August, but the last harvest wasn't good, only making the village and your family poorer. Important people only come around every once in a while to collect taxes, otherwise you and your people are on your own. Even the witch has left this place. You hear footsteps and look up. It's Mildred. You often hang out with each other. Guys, have you heard? A noble is coming. He sent his harbinger ahead to arrange his lodgings. What? To our village? But we're so far out. He's passing through. I hope he buys some of our wares. Millie, you have to be realistic, especially with nobles. They're not really the sharing type, are they? Oh, come on. You and your pessimism. It's not like we have anything else to look forward to. And they at least have to stock up on food and water. That's true. I just wish people like him would care more about us. As you try to warm your hands, you hear chatter and laughter growing louder. It's Faralda and her friends. Even after all these years of knowing her, you are still in awe of her beauty. She is gorgeous, to be fair. Once they're out of earshot, Mildred sighs. I'm so jealous of her. Must be nice having those good looks. But I do have an admirer of my own, you know. Before you could ask her to tell you more, another woman traipses across the grass to join you. It's Siglind, looking as confident and reliable as always. Admiring Faralda again? Ugh. She may have a pretty face, but don't you think she's a little slow on the uptake? Siglind grins and Mildred politely laughs. Stay silent. You avoid Siglind's eyes. Don't you agree too, Isgard? You just shrug your shoulders. She gave me a cookie yesterday. I don't know what you're saying. The other two apologize half-heartedly. Trying to salvage the mood, Mildred claps her hands. So about the noble, do you guys have anything you want to sell to him? I'm not sure. I don't think he needs a woven basket from us. We also don't have the sorts of things that a noble might like. Thinking about it, I'm wondering if I should say, people's names before I say their lines. Because I am not good at the whole voicing thing. So maybe it would help people, who aren't watching, who are just, like, letting it play for the noise. Maybe I'll start doing that. August, I don't think your carved wooden figures look awesome, Isgard. Wait, what? Did I say I don't think? August says, I think your carved wooden figures look awesome, Isgard. Thank you, August. You pat her head and smile. She beams back at you. By the way, I also heard that the noble is still single. Okay, maybe I'm not going to say their names. It's just too awkward. Siglin snorts. Oh, come on. You're looking to try climbing into his bed? You smack Siglin's leg. August is still here. Siglin shrugs and rolls her eyes. You look back down at August. How about you leave the washing to me and go help Mother in the house? Okay. She closes the door behind her and you sigh. Well, Siglin, now you're free to be your vulgar self. She snickers and slowly looks over Mildred from head to toe. Mildred frowns and starts to cover herself with her arms. Well, I guess you could try for a night and see if his conscience would make him stay with you. Mildred slaps Siglin's back 3 times. You are disgusting! Ever since you got married, you've been so bold about these topics. She finishes the last sentence with another slap. Siglin just laughs and takes the blows in stride. Anyway, what I originally wanted to say is... She bends down a little and starts to whisper. What about showing off Feralda to him? Siglin and you look at each other, then slowly turn to Mildred. You mean, as his potential wife? Look, we need to do something so our village can survive. Feralda is not married yet. She is our best bet to get someone wealthier interested in our village. I heard the nobles really care about treating their in-laws right. Helping out a village of commoners would be nothing to them. You all stay silent for a few seconds, then Siglin furrows her brows and starts to scratch her chin. Do you guys remember the witch? Yes, of course. She's been gone for a while, hasn't she? Yeah, I'm actually glad you never know when a priest will finally want to come visit us. Anyway, every time I went to buy medicine from her, it felt like her face had changed. In what way? Sometimes she had more wrinkles, sometimes she had less. She seemed more youthful before she left, actually, and her eyes seemed even prettier. I'm guessing she might have had a spell to become more beautiful. Why don't we try it for ourselves, then? Look at the foundations we have. You think you could beat someone like Feralda just by making your base look nicer? Mildred looks clearly hurt, but doesn't say anything back. Your cheeks burn as your fingers curl around the fabric of your skirt. Well, there's also something else to consider. There might be some risks to that spell, but one little setback for Feralda wouldn't hurt much, right? You look at Siglin with confusion. Don't think too hard about it. I'm just saying it's worth a try. I guess. Look, if you really want to make sure Feralda gets picked, then we should use magic to help. We could look in the witch's old cabin, find something that works. But we're not witches. What if the spell really does go wrong? Siglin shrugs her shoulders. People like Feralda can take that. She doesn't even wait for a reply before she just changes the topic. Mildred adjusts to Siglin's whims, as always. You look back towards the door of your home. You think about August's clothes, about the fear you all feel whenever someone gets sick. How many times have you prayed for things to get better? Then you remember Feralda's smile. She smiles so often, even living here. She must get so many compliments every day. So many men stare at her when she walks by, leaving everyone else, leaving you, unnoticed. You knead your skirt with your fists. Yeah, Feralda can take the risks. She has it better than a lot of you. She could try and help out for once. You try not to think about how a commoner might be treated when marrying into a noble family, or how the noble themselves might treat their spouse. It'd be a good deal for her, right? She would like the idea too, right? But what exactly do you know about her? You're not that close. Not anymore. With mixed feelings, you go to bed early that day. Interesting. What would you guys do? Would you experiment with magic on somebody without their permission? I don't think it's right, but we might just for the sake of this game. We gotta play into the story. It's fine. She's not a real person. She's pretty. Pretty people aren't real. Didn't you know? Someone is knocking on your door. It's Feralda. Feralda? Hello. It's been a while since we've spoken to each other one-on-one. Hi. Sorry, are you alright? What's going on? It's Irmina. She has been coughing so much, and it just won't get better. And today she even started having a fever. She only has her father left. Do you have any medicine for this? You shake your head. Feralda covers her face with her hands. Oh no, I already asked everyone else on the way here, and they all said the same. It's all so frustrating. We have no priest here, and even the witch has left us. What are we supposed to do? You pat her back and bring her a cup of water to calm her. This might actually be the perfect moment. Actually, do you want to go to the witch's cabin with me? Feralda looks at you in confusion. But she's not there anymore. Suddenly you're getting cold feet. How are you going to convince her to undergo a spell you've never tried before? You don't even know if it exists. You just opened your mouth to take back your words when Singlin appears in the doorway. Excuse me, do you have some milk? My little boy got sick and I want to make some milk tea for it. She pauses, staring at Feralda for a moment. Then she looks to you. I didn't know that Feralda liked to visit you. Siglind, do you have medicine for coughing and fevers? Not anymore, sweetie. Was that what you were talking about? Siglind's sharp gaze on you makes you feel small and anxious. For some reason, Isgard asked me if I wanted to go to the witch's cabin. Siglind's eyes widen for a moment. You notice that she's trying to suppress the grin that is forming on her lips. Well, maybe we can find some medicine there? We can only hope the witch left something behind. A beautiful smile finally returns to Feralda's face as she turns back to you. Oh, that's why you asked. She takes your hands in hers. Guilt stabs you in your chest as you see her warm and genuine smile. Let's go, Isgard. This reminds you of her younger self. She used to pull you along just like she is now to play outside. You were both so carefree back then. How does Feralda feel about that time after all these years? Is she sad you distanced yourself from her? Does she know it was because you're jealous of her? This is complex, isn't it? If we were really going for medicine, then this would be understandable. But I think this lends more into like character development, so I think I'm gonna go with this one. Do you remember playing together? Feralda stops for a moment and thinks. I thought you were the one who forgot. Being a child and playing all day was fun. You remember making flower rings and garlands? You smile and nod. Siglind snorts. Yeah, you can reminisce later. We need that medicine now. All right. Feralda lets go of your hands, bringing you back to the present, and walks ahead of you. Siglind comes closer and whispers into your ear. You probably thought of that spell before the medicine, right? Not that I blame you. We could try and convince her there. Let's get Mildred too. You look at the ground and follow Siglind. Yeah, very complex feelings we as the character have. On your way, you knock on Mildred's door to convince her to join you. It's very easily done. You don't even need to say much after she sees Feralda. Unaware of the question the three of you would soon ask her, Feralda walks with light feet into the forest. A stick snaps under your shoes as you wander along a path between the trees. Almost no sunlight filters through. The canopy is too dense, typical of the region you live in. Foggy days make it even harder to find your way. Thankfully, it's clear today. After a bend in the path, you catch sight of the witch's cabin. Half hidden between branches and bushes, the eerie wooden house looms over you. None of the villagers, even older ones, can remember when the witch first appeared. She was just there one day, along with her cabin. No one really trusted her, but no doctor from the city visited the village, and her medicine was certainly useful in their absence. The village grew to begrudgingly accept her in time, but then she disappeared without a word, leaving this cabin to be claimed by the forest. The old wooden door squeaks as you open it. The house's interior is unchanged, despite the witch having been gone for months. There's no dust to be seen. By all accounts, it looks like someone just left for a walk. Seeing this unnerves you a little, but you force yourself to step further inside. The four of you carefully look through shelves and chests for clues. You decide to gather all the glass vials and bottles. Any idea what all these do? Not really. Maybe one of the books can tell us more. You guys can read? My uncle used to teach me before he left the village to become a priest. Does he ever send you money? Priests must have it a little better than us, no? My father doesn't seem to be getting along with him anymore. That's sad. What a pity. Anyway, I guess we'll gather some books then. A lot of the books you find are written in various languages you can't read. Nonetheless, you admire the craftsmanship behind each book, running your fingers over the pages. Then, Feralda finds when you can read. What does it say, Isgard? Charms and spells for the late Walpurga. You all gather closer around the table on which the book lays. With utmost curiosity, you start to flick through its contents. The first page has a dedication to Walpurga. Your enemies are no more. S. In the pages beyond these are spells to find lost objects, give others nightmares, or make them fall in love. After much searching, you finally find it, the spell of youth and beauty. It instructs you to kill a dove and use its blood to purify a small shrine. The receiver of the spell should put their right hand on the shrine. The others should cut their thumbs, then put their wounds to the receiver's lips so they can drink their blood. Afterwards, the wounded participants should hold hands in a circle around the receiver and chant together. Gabon Jugend für Selbstgehörige Ein schöne wird das in allen Laden nicht schöners Motzen? I don't know if that's a real language. It vaguely looks like German or something. But dang. Please, game, don't make me try to say words. The hell? I was not prepared. Now the question remains of how you convince Feralda to take part in this. And? So, I haven't exactly found a list of all the potions she made, but you take a deep breath and look at Feralda. I actually had another reason to invite you to the cabin. Feralda looks confused. Feralda, you, like all of us, suffer from the lack of resources we have in the village. You have a kind heart, so it hurts you even more that we can't get medicine for people like your poor sick friend Ermina. But you are beautiful, Feralda. You always have been. You might have a chance with the noble who is coming soon. And with the noble's favor, you can make life better for Ermina and everyone. Feralda only looks down and sighs. I'm not sure. In the end, I'm also just a peasant. But what does that have to do with this cabin? I think that we should be proactive and explain, because if you're going to be doing something kind of shady like this, then You better have the balls to own up to it. In my opinion. Siglin said that just before the witch left... Sorry, I need a sip. Siglin said that just before the witch left, she suddenly looked younger and more beautiful. But she didn't completely change. It was just like she had improved on what was already there. We wanted to come here and see if she had left anything behind, a potion or a spell, which she had used to beautify herself. And I think I've just found it in this book. Siglin looks satisfied. Siglin then puts her arm around Feralda's shoulders. If the witch uses the spell herself, it must be safe for us, for you, to try. With her magic and your beauty, any noble would surely fall for you. But, please, Feralda, our hopes rest on you. As his wife, you could ask anything of him. For food, clothes, medicine, all that we have gone without for so long and more. Maybe even a priest. You would help everyone. Feralda takes a deep breath and looks at you with conviction. All right. I'd rather do something than nothing. You avoid meeting her intense gaze. Now tell us what we have to do, Isgard. You repeat what you've read to them. A dove? We would have to go back to the village and see if anyone has caught one. Feralda looks around the cluttered cabin, then disappears into another room without another word. Much to everyone's surprise, she comes back with a dead dove. Seems the witch liked to keep stocked with ingredients she needed for her spells. It's curious that the dove doesn't show any signs of rotting. Is there still magic in this cabin, keeping the witch's ingredients fresh? I hope it doesn't have to be freshly killed. After taking a small knife from the table, you prepare the shrine, and the three of you position yourselves around Feralda. You flinch when you have to cut yourself, and put your thumb on her lips. It's clear she's uncomfortable, but she bravely continues and takes a sip. After she takes in a drop of blood from each of you, you start to chant. The room shakes slightly. A breeze plays with Feralda's hair, and for a second you think you see flower patterns glowing in her eyes. Whispers fly past your ears, and then complete silence. You wait for a few more seconds before you feel safe enough to move. Did it work? Well, something just responded. Feralda looks at her hands and then stands up. Do I look any different? Not sure. Maybe it takes time to show. Siglin looks frustrated and turns away from Feralda. I hope that is the case. With a slight feeling of hope, you start to look through more books to identify the potions. 2 are meant to treat coughs, at least. Siglin and Feralda take one each before you return home. Riddled with anxiety, you take a long time to fall asleep. For the next few days, you, Siglin, and Mildred observe Feralda in minute detail. Her hair has become much more vibrant. Her skin has lost any trace of dryness or the small scars she gained from all the work she does. The men turn around even more whenever Feralda walks past them. Soon the 4 of you gather together in a corner of the village where almost no one goes to talk about the plan. We were successful, Feralda. I think so too. So, okay. What do you even talk about with a noble? I'm gonna teach you some interesting topics. Don't worry. When is he arriving again, Mildred? In 3 days, I think. That means we can try and befriend the maids working for him in advance. Siglin puts her hands on her hips. I say we prepare some good food to win them over. Sounds like a plan. You say your goodbyes and return home. A few days later, the whole village watches as the noble and his entourage arrive. He steps down from his strong white horse to survey his surroundings. The village elders immediately surround him. The Honorable Odin, you grace us with your presence. Odin puts his hand up to stop the elders from speaking. Whoa, he's got crazy eyes, dude. He sighs. We can skip the formalities. Where's my harbinger? The harbinger steps forward and bows. I am here. Is there any hope for some fitting lodgings? His vassal shakes his head. So it's another night in the tent. Elder, do you have a large field we can use? The elders look at each other. Siglin steps forward before they can reply. There's a lot of space next to our house, Honorable Odin. The noble fixes her with an icy and indifferent stare. She immediately bows her head. I did not give you permission to speak, but I suppose it's no matter. I am in a permissive mood today. Men, prepare the tents and follow the woman to the site. His entourage follows Siglind as she begins to make her way to the field. She steals glances at you, urging you to join in, so you, Mildred, and Feralda walk alongside her. You all start to whisper. Siglind, are you out of your mind? You know how easily a noble can punish us. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, my dear. We are trying to get him to marry a peasant. You reach the field and Odin's men immediately start building the tents and sleeping places for themselves. A carriage brings up the rear with rich furnishings to be placed inside Odin's tent. The men look well trained and carry leather, armor, bows, and swords. It makes you feel anxious to see so many armed men in your village. They will be busy for a while, so let's come back later after they're done. A few hours later. Do you think my current appearance is enough? You had all put your best skills to use to dress up for Alda. She would definitely outshine everyone in a normal village festival, but the noble's taste is unknown to you. For Alda, it's gonna be okay. Trust our judgment. You take a deep breath and approach the maids nearby. Can we help you with anything? The maids look up in surprise. Oh, we would be very happy about that. As you can imagine, we need plenty of water and food. You look at your friends with a smile. We had heard from the harbinger when you would arrive and prepared some things beforehand. The maids are immediately in a merry mood. A lot of bread, water, and diluted wine is brought by the other villagers and wheels into the encampment. You look bitterly at the bounty of food. You know that your village will only be eating one meal a day for the next week, just so you can supply the noble and his entourage. The more elaborate dishes are brought to a table in front of a big tent. You are told the noble's taste tester is there. Is that the one who has to test the food for poison, even out here? Siglin shrugs. I guess you never know where your enemies hide when you gain power. Siglin looks at you and Feralda. I think Feralda would be too nervous to speak if she went alone. Isgard, ask if you're allowed to bring one of our pies to him. You slowly nod in response. Your heart starts to beat very loudly. You pray that the noble is still in a good mood. Hesitantly stepping forward, you approach the table with Feralda in tow. The taste tester looks at you with utter annoyance. What do you want? We would like to bring one of our best pies to the Honorable Odin, especially our dear Feralda. She admires him. Feralda nervously fiddles with her hands. The taste tester scans her from head to toe. I see. Well, I guess having something to look at should be alright by him. He calls for one of the men, a knight who looks to be in charge of the others. Good day to you both. I am the captain here in service of the Honorable Odin. If you want to get closer to him, you will have to go under inspection. If you're not willing, I suggest you leave. You nudge Feralda. She now looks at the captain, whose eyes widen slightly as they assess her. We are quite all right with it, thank you. Yes, I think his lordship would be pleased as well. He searches both of you, and as uncomfortable as it is, his hand never stays in one place too long. You and Feralda exchange a glance, and she relaxes slightly. I am done. Wait a moment, and I will ask if he wishes for this pie and your company. He disappears into the noble's tent and soon returns. He is fine with this. Taste tester, if you will. The taste tester slowly sits down, sighs heavily, and takes a bite. It's quite delicious. Neither of them move. You can't help but stiffen in place. Anything strange? No, they're clear. With that, you're guided into Odin's tent. Guided. Words are hard. Odin sits uncomfortably on his bed. Oh, why did I say uncomfortably? Where is my brain at? I don't know. I've lost it. Odin sits comfortably on his bed. He doesn't turn his head to try to meet your eyes. You can leave the pie on the table. You set the pie down while you give Feralda a soft nudge, urging her to step forward. She waits silently in front of him. After what feels like an eternity, Odin finally deigns to look at her, briefly in annoyance before shock overtakes him. The noble is entranced within moments. What is your name? Feralda. How old? 22. He slowly rises from his bed, circles around her, and then sits at the table in front of her. Would it be alright, Feralda, if you grant me your company while I eat? No, I'll just leave. I don't know why I would stay. I'll leave. Feralda nods, and you slowly leave the tent. As soon as the tent flap closes behind you, a wave of guilt stabs you like a hot needle. The significance of leaving an unmarried woman alone with a powerful man does not escape you. Oh! Oops. That's not... Oops. It escaped me. Sorry, Feralda. I did not, I hope you're okay. I'm sorry. You wish I had found a way to stay by her side. Dang! Can I go back? Oh, I can't go back! Ask Feralda if you should stay. You don't even dare to look in Odin's direction. You know his asking only for Feralda's company was a sign to leave, and you don't want to risk a noble's anger. But still, you feel like you need to ask, at least. You gather your courage. Feralda, will you be alright to stay here alone? Feralda smiles and squeezes your hand. Yes, thank you for asking, Isgard. Satisfied, you quietly leave the tent. Okay, I'm glad that we were able to go back. That's good. Honestly, I want our character and Feralda's relationship to, rekindle and they'd be best of friends again. You wait anxiously for hours in your home with Mildred and Siglin discussing the day's events. Finally, as the daylight begins to fade, Feralda returns. She looks happy and sports a slight blush on her cheeks. Well, well, well. Looks like we have half a pair of lovebirds here. Feralda sputters and shyly looks away. Mildred cautiously clears her throat. He wasn't rough with you, I hope. No, he was quite patient and kind. He explained why he's traveling through here and asked how my life is in the village. He smiled a lot while we were talking. Sorry, it felt like there was something, crawling out of my throat. Is that weird? Well, of course it's weird. But I just mean, I don't know. It was unusual. Siglin laughs loudly and slaps Feralda's back. I knew you could do it. Look how you tamed that big old noble with that cute face of yours. You all sigh with relief. It's alright to continue like this. Feralda is gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. Everything will be alright. That, you shouldn't, nope. That's not a good sign, is it? You wake up early the next morning. With a yawn, you stretch your arms and push the hair out of your face. But then you feel something thin stuck between your fingers. Your eyes slowly wander towards your hand. Your skin feels thinner and drier than usual. And on your palm are several strands of loose hair. You immediately stand up, stumbling towards a bucket full of water to check your reflection. Your face looks fine, and so does your hair. At least at first. August stirs and rubs her eyes. You open your mouth and close it again. You can't bring yourself to admit what is happening to you. Instead, you shake your head and tell August to go back to sleep. She blinks, yawns, and lays back down. With everyone asleep once more, you sneak your way outside and throw away the strands of hair. That's scary. Why would you be losing hair? Well, give and take. Give and take. It's taking. No one in your family has lost their hair this early in life. Just then an old woman walks by. It's Aeon Hilt, one of the few elders who are still alive in the village, and a very dear person to you. Oh my, why are you already awake, my dear? A child like you needs sleep. You smile and greet her. I'm already 22, Aeon Hilt. You will always be a child to me, my dear. Did you have a nightmare? You start to nervously knead your hands. Something like that. Actually, Aeon Hilt, is it possible to lose hair at my age? Aeon Hilt tilts her head, inspecting you closely. That's very unusual, my dear. Maybe you are stressed? Has something difficult been troubling you? Maybe how you feel about your acts towards Feralda. You hesitate, then shake your head. You feel ashamed just thinking of the possible dangers you've exposed Feralda to. No way would you be able to confess that to Aeon Hilt. How about you join me in my knitting tomorrow? I was going to make some scarves for the coming winter. That sounds very nice. I will be there. She softly pats your hand and smiles. Take care, Isgard. With newfound warmth in your heart, you return home and do your usual chores. The next day. Okay. I'm worried what's going to happen to these three girls, though, honestly. I'm sure Feralda will be okay. I'm worried about the other three. Unless, like, some sort of rubber banding happens and she goes to the peak of the spell and then, like, goes back and then past what she used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, she becomes less alluring than she used to be. I don't know. When you arrive at Aeon Hilt's home, you already smell hot herb tea and pie she has prepared. You enjoy a sweet conversation with her while you eat. After you finish, Aeon Hilt prepares the wool and needles. You take a seat. As you pick up your knitting needles and prepare the first row of knits, your fingers start to hurt. You suck in a groan between your gritted teeth and shake off the wool. To ease the pain, you slowly open and close your hand. The joints hurt when you flex your fingers. Are you all right? I don't know what is happening, Aeon Hilt. My hands hurt. I've barely started knitting. You swallow hard to hold back your tears. Oh, poor dear. If only we could visit the witch, or just had a village doctor. She gently hugs you and caresses your back. You choke back a sob. You're not alone, my dear. I am here with you, all right? You draw in deep breaths to calm down, and after a minute you break away to look at her. Her face is full of worry, and she takes your hand in hers. Isgard, to be specific, do your joints hurt? Yes. That only started well after I turned 50, my dear. You bite your lip. A tear rolls down your cheek. Aeon Hilt sighs sadly and rubs your palms with her thumbs to soothe you. Drink tea often and try to take a walk outside every day. I know when we are scared we want to hide away, but you have to be kind to your own body and keep it moving, especially now. Can you do that for me? You nod. Good. But I also think it's all right if you take it easy for today and get some rest. Tell your mother that it was on my recommendation. You return home and tell your mother what Aeon Hilt said. What? But tomorrow we're all going out to collect berries. Do you think you can at least carry a little? I'm sorry. She sighs. You can sleep today at least. There's nothing pressing right now. You agree and head to your room to lay down. You've been sick before, but you've never feared what was happening to your body so much. What if tomorrow hurts even more? You lay awake in bed with fear in your heart. I would for sure go find one of the other girls. You follow the other women of the village to collect berries in the forest. Your mother, true to her word, had given you a small basket. Soon as you spot Mildred and Siglin and move to join them. Oh, not soon as you. Soon you. Okay. Brain? She's slow today. Siglin is looking much more tired than usual, and Mildred's hair looks thinner. The last few days, were they also strange for you? I think my back is hurting more than usual, and my skin is so dry. In my case, it's my arms. They don't seem to be as strong anymore. I almost let my son fall. Siglin covers her face with one free hand. You'd never seen her so weak and afraid before, not even just after childbirth. My hair is slowly falling out, and my fingers hurt when I tried to knit. Hilt said those things only happened to her when she was in her 50s. Siglin looks terrified. Wait. No, but... We're aging faster, aren't we? No, we can't. Wait. I need to be strong. My son can't take care of himself yet. Siglin, not so loud. She forces herself to calm down. Thankfully, no one has noticed her outburst. Have you guys seen anyone else looking weak or sick? Maybe there's something in the water of the well. You shake your head, so does Siglin. So, only those of us who gave their blood to Feralda are getting worse. You all turn your heads to look at Feralda. She's full of energy as she forges with the others. Her hair, her skin, and her light movements all look bright and lively. You try to ignore the churning in your stomach when you look at her and push yourself to focus on the berries. Dun dun dun. Face it, Isgard. Don't try to look away. We don't know what it is. Feralda just did what we told her to. Yeah, and it all worked out well for her. Look at her. Young, pretty, healthy, with a kind noble as a future husband to boot. How about we look in the witch's cabin again? Maybe there's a way to undo the spell. But we did all that to make sure the noble falls in love with Feralda. What if we undo it and suddenly the noble has no interest? What about the village? We'll go to the cabin and decide after we read how to do it. Understood? Her fierce gaze makes you take a step back. You pause, but ultimately nod in agreement. I mean, you guys were willing to put all of this on Feralda, so you should be willing to accept all of this to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect somebody to take on a burden you wouldn't take on yourself. Like, how can I tell you to touch a hot stove if I'm not willing to do it? I'm not willing to do it for a reason, you know? That kind of thing. That same night, the three of you ransack the cabin until you finally find the book again. Just why wasn't it in the same spot as before? Before you can think about it, you try to concentrate on your more pressing issue. You leaf through the book, stopping once again at the page for the spell of youth and beauty. Brows furrowed, you carefully read it again, continuing to the next few pages. They contain notes of past experiments the witch made until the right words for her spell were found, and then, at the bottom of the last page, you find a paragraph on reversing the spell itself. Read it, hurry! Used as a test group and made them give their youth and beauty to one of the other members. Observing them made it clear that the one who gave their blood aged faster. A verbal reversal spell was not enough to stop the process. The only method I found so far is to kill the one who drinks the blood after the receiver's death. The others slowly recover. Maybe it's like damming a river? More testing will be needed. All of you freeze in silence. For what feels like an eternity, you can only hear the wind and animals outside. Mildred starts to shake her head, but Feralda just did what we told her to. So we're aging a lot faster, and we don't even know how much time we have left. Siglin slams her hands on the table. I can't die so soon. What about my child? Who's going to take care of him? I want to see him grow up. I want there to be there for my husband. I can't leave them behind. She takes a deep, shuddering breath. It's decided. As unfair as it is to Feralda, we need our lifespans back, and you will tell no one about this. Understood? You're about to say something, but she grabs your wrist so hard it hurts. Try telling someone and see what you'll make me do, Isgard. Terrified, you mumble some sort of reply. Siglin lets go of your wrist, and you all step outside in silence. You return home with leaden feet and a heavy heart. As you shut the door, you could swear you hear a snicker in the wind. I wonder if the witch has been around, just like waiting for something like this to happen. The next morning, you almost let the axe fall onto your feet while chopping wood. How are the elders doing their daily tasks with such weakened bodies? Siglin visits you after breakfast. She brings you behind your own home, out of sight from both the villagers and the visitors. Isgard, meet me in the forest by our usual spot. We need to discuss something. You can imagine what it is about. All right, I will be there. Around dusk, you return to the forest to meet Siglin again. This time, Mildred is there as well, looking just as uncomfortable as you. Everyone's here. Good. So we need a plan. And no, we cannot leave Feralda alive. Is this the conviction of a mother, or was this side of Siglin always there? Was she always this ready to sacrifice others for her own survival? Yeah, she was willing to sacrifice Feralda, and now she's willing to sacrifice Feralda again. Isgard, any ideas? Well, it's kind of hard now, because the noble cares about Feralda. Getting her to be alone with us might be harder now, too. Mildred, have anything to counter that? Maybe we can convince her if we say it's to make a surprise present for the Honorable Odin? Didn't you used to make flower garlands with Feralda when you were kids? You avoid Siglin's eyes. It's such an innocent memory, unmarked by your later jealousy of Feralda. A time when you just enjoyed her company. And now Siglin wants to use that to lure Feralda to her death? Are you listening, Isgard? Yes. Then invite her to go flower picking. Tell her you want to make a flower garland for the Honorable Odin with her. You take your time replying, but you know Siglin will only accept one answer. Still, you want to delay her plans if you can. But looking for flowers at night wouldn't make sense. Oh, right. Just get her to come deep in the woods then, near the cabin. We just need to push her face right into the earth so her screams won't be as loud. What a cold-hearted, matter-of-fact answer. Go now. Mildred and I will prepare while you go get her. You turn around and walk back to the village. Will you really go through with this? Save Feralda. Duh. I would rather die than kill Feralda. You know what I mean? In this sense, of course. In this sense. Not that I would ever get this far, because I would never be willing to sacrifice another person. That's just not the kind of person I am. I can't do it. I will self-sacrifice all day long. But, like, don't try to get me to sacrifice anybody else's well-being or anything like that, because I just can't do it. I'm just not that kind of person. I popped my shoulder. It felt really nice. Okay, we're gonna save Feralda. Feralda doesn't deserve this. You've always wanted the village to get better, even if it means you have to pay the price. You accept your new condition and begin to think. There's still time to stop the plan. But you have to be careful. You know Siglin won't forgive you for this. Yeah. Just tell Feralda that, what Siglin's planning, and to stay away. And, like, what is Isgard gonna do? Kill you? Kill you over it? She could. Yeah, it's not gonna change anything. Feralda would already know. You head to Feralda's home, but she isn't there. Her foraging basket and shears are gone, so she's likely in the forest gathering herbs. You find Feralda alone and wave her over to you. Oh, Isgard, what is it? I was just about to go home. I just had an idea for something that we could gift to his lordship as a surprise. Oh? Remember making flower garlands together? He would certainly be happy about getting one from you. You think so? But that was when we were younger, and girls only gave those to the boys they liked. Well, I would say you two are really close now, no? All the more reason to. Yes. What a sweet reaction. You watch her with conflicting feelings. You want to cheer her on, but you also feel jealous seeing her happiness. A kind, good-looking man, a rich one no less, giving her such attention and care. You know she is kind and think she deserves it, but it doesn't stop that lingering bitterness. And then there's this murky feeling of immense guilt that aches in your chest when you remember Siglin's words. Listen, Feralda, there's something I need to confess. What? You pull Feralda closer to you and carefully look around. Pull some of my hair. Feralda does so, confusion written on her face. See how it comes away with your fingers? That's how easily they fall out now. What? Are you alright? Feralda, there are other things happening, and it's not just me. Siglin, Mildred, and I have noticed our bodies changing. We're aging faster. But how? We went back to the cabin and read more of the book. Apparently what the spell does is it gives you our youth and beauty. Feralda reels back, terrified, and rapidly shakes her head. No! No. I would have never agreed to this if I knew. We've got to do something. I know. But Feralda, to reverse the effects, we would have to kill you. It said it was the only way, and I'm here to warn you because Siglin and Mildred are planning to try that way. But what shall we do? We need to find his lordship immediately. As a noble, he can give out judgments to us. That would mean, yes, Mildred and Siglin would die. And maybe I would too. Feralda shakes her head and looks at you with determination. I can't imagine how much courage this took. I will convince Odin to spare you, since you have saved my life. The only problem is, I heard that today he's surveying the woods. I'm not sure why, but I think they're looking for bandits. You look in the direction where Siglin and Mildred are waiting for you. If you don't bring Feralda now, they're going to start looking for you. We need to be faster than them. We need his protection now. You and Feralda run. You hope that Siglin and Mildred wait long enough before they come looking for you. You look around and hope you can spot Odin's men. Should you scream to catch their attention? Would they mistake you for a bandit? But what if Siglin hears your scream? Just then, something sharp and hard hits you in the back of your head. As you fall down and scream, you see Feralda falling with you. Oh no! We both hit well, Mildred. Just when you struggle to stand up, your face is pushed into the ground, dampening your scream and filling your mouth with dirt. You hear Feralda struggling next to you as well, but whatever struck you both in the head has weakened you too much to break free. A pounding pain ripples from where Mildred hits your skull again and again. Searing heat immediately envelops your whole head and distorts your face as you try to scream. You taste earth, grass, and blood from your wounds, bitter in your mouth. They kick and beat you, Jesus Christ. And after a while, they switch to smashing big rocks against your bodies. You slip between hazy consciousness, searing pain, and dull recognition. The crunches and smashes sound further and further away until finally there's only darkness. Well, shit. Is it gonna be dark forever? Hello? Ending. Snitches get stitches. Well, dang! Shit. Okay. What other endings were there? Let's see. There's the traitor ending, the funeral ending, the execution ending, and the legacy ending. Is that the traitor ending? Did we just get the traitor ending? Because that's what it seems like. I don't know. Alright, well that's the ending that we got. Thank you everybody for coming out and playing with me. Let me know if you want to see some of the other endings. If not, and you want to play this game for yourself, it's free on itch.io, first link in the description as always. I really enjoy the writing. It is... Oh, the title makes sense now. I was just looking at the title. The title makes sense now. I was wondering, like, how do you share beauty? What does that mean? How could... What... Huh? Anyway, make sure to let me know what you guys thought, please. And if you could, welcome me back. That would be nice. I don't know, just if you guys wanna. You don't have to, but you could. And I'd appreciate it. Anyway, make sure you stretch, drink some water, take care of yourselves, and I'll see y'all on the next one, alright? Bye!